Hello YouTube, Devin here again for the second video of today, and that's just because I didn't put one out on Friday because I had a pretty long day at work and I didn't feel like it. But today we're going to get into the Yugoslavian family of helmets, and the reason I'm doing both versions today is because of they didn't change much other than the shell composition. So we'll get into that here, and we're going to start off with the M59. This is a later version of the M59. I'll explain the difference, and we'll get the M89 out of the way here. Now, the M59 came out in 1959 to replace the Yugoslavian standard helmets, which were the M15 Adrians that were given to Serbia and Bosnia and all those other places during World War I, and they continued to use these after the war just because they couldn't afford anything. And Yugoslavia merged all the Slavic countries, so like modern day Macedonia, Bosnia, Herzegovina, Croatia, and Slovenia. They all merged into Yugoslavia, and there's probably some other countries in there, Kosovo, if you recognize that as a country. All that stuff. They used these in World War I. The countries that could afford them, those countries that could afford them, used these as part of the ex-Austro-Hungarian Empire when it fell. Continued to use those until World War II, and they continued to use the Adrians, M15 Adrians, and any helmets they could get. A lot of these Czech M32 eggshell helmets went into their service in World War II. There's plenty of these documented with Yugoslav resistance groups and stuff like that. So, but their first helmet made in Yugoslavia is actually this, the M59, and I'm not going to take the cover off of it because it's kind of a pain in the ass, and it's the same shape as the Kevlar one, which I don't have a cover on later, so you'll see the shape later. But it's pretty much like a cut down, kind of like a Spanish Model 26, so it doesn't have as much of a skirt on it and stuff like that is how I would best describe it. Now, it's got this cotton cover, and it's in their woodland pattern, their 4-color woodland. And it has the Yugoslav star on it. Now, Yugoslavia was a communist country, but they were a communist country not influenced by Russia. So they got to communism all by themselves, and they actually really didn't want anything to do with Russia. So, just kind of odd. And it's a two-piece design, so it's got this big kind of front piece that wraps all the way around. And then there's this kind of little top/back piece. So, and they're held on with 4 little pairs of drawstrings, and I got them routed through. You can see where the old M59 chin strap would have went through, these swivel bales right here. It was initially a 2-point, and in 1985 they upgraded them to 3-point, which is this part, which is sewn to the liner. So the liner is held in place with 6 little rivets, kind of like an M1, and it has an M1 style liner, adjustable with the drawstring at the top, and has 3 V's of cotton fabric. The sweatband is, instead of being held on with little clips sewn on, you have to take apart the whole chin strap and slide off the sweatband to replace it. But so they got rid of the 2-point chin strap, and that's the only difference between the M59 and the M59-85, which is this one, is they went from 2-point chin strap to a 3-point chin strap connected to the liner. So, and it's a very stable helmet. It's held in with lots of Velcro. There's lots of double D buckles, as you can see there. Every strap is adjustable with double D buckles and Velcro. So all the straps have Velcro on them for attachment, and it's held in place by 1 snap. It has a quick release, it's 1 snap and Velcro. So this is in very good condition. It seems pretty much unused. It has somebody's initial there. It says ERA. I don't know what that means or anything like that, or if it's somebody's initials, or if it has some other meaning or anything like that. If you know, please let me know in the comments. So, but it has this chin cup, and the chin cup is adjustable. It slides back and forth on the outer piece of fabric, and it's just held in place by the Velcro. So it's a very stable, very comfortable helmet, despite being the M1 design. The donut can kind of cut into your head. But overall, it's pretty much the same thing you get with a Pasgat or an M1 design. But the chin strap is pretty nice. And they were made out of pretty good steel. Has a raw edge here. Which can, if the paint chips, kind of like this one is, it can get kind of sharp, gets that kind of sawtooth effect on it, and they can cut you. But all in all, it's a pretty simple, very rugged design, and it was used for a very long time, as we could tell, because it's still used today. So a lot of, when Yugoslavia fell officially in the 90s, after the Yugoslav wars, A lot of these countries retained the M85s. So the M59-85s as their standard helmet and stuff like that. And Yugoslavia, in 1989, came out with a Kevlar helmet, which is the same shape, same exact shape. You can see the slight little skirt there and everything, and it has the same liner. Instead of now being held in with rivets, it's held in with A-washers and screws. It's just like a PASCAT. And it has a chin strap, back to the 2-point chin strap. We'll take a look at the liner. It's held in with the bales. But again, instead of being riveted, it's screwed in place. So this one I got, and it had a real kind of shitty junk liner in it, and I pulled it out because it stank. I would have kept it, but it smelled like death. It wasn't like bloody or anything, but it just reeked. So I had to get rid of the liner. I kept the chin strap because the chin strap is okay. You can see it's pretty dirty, and there's some stains on it, which could be blood. A lot of these were used through the Yugoslav Civil War, so I wouldn't be surprised if there was blood on it. But this is a Kevlar helmet, and it's thinner than most Kevlar helmets, and this is kind of their second version of this style of helmet. And you could see the stamp down in there. It's very hard to make out, but it has like it's like a circle with a cogwheel in it. So don't mind this. This is just like the resin cup where they use the shell. That's part of the shell. But this little kind of silvery thing you can see here, it's kind of like a circle with a cogwheel in it. And the center looks like two E's that are facing away from each other. I don't know if that's the maker or if it's like an approval stamp, or I don't know. But the chin strap is cotton, just the same cotton they used in the M59 and the M59-85. So they had it, they used it, they were smart. So not a lot changed. It's still like the M1 release has the tension slider buckle, so you lift this to adjust it, and you can slide it up and down, and then you push this back forward towards the buckle to put pressure on it so it won't move. So that's pretty simple. Not a lot changed. It's about twice as heavy as the M59-85. Had the same liner and everything like that. So, but these were only a 2-point chin strap. Now, the early ones would have had a red star painted on them, just like this is on the cover. It's not painted on, but this one has the red star painted on it too. But that was replaced by a J&A sticker. I call it a sticker. It's actually a decal. But like this one, they didn't paint their logos on there. They just used these stickers, and that's how they're supposed to come. They look cheap and everything like that, and really slapped together. But that is officially how they are worn by the military. They have the sticker on them, and this one's kind of peeling off. But all in all, so the early ones would have had a J&A sticker on them, which is pretty much this, but it's a little bit smaller, and it has the red, white, and blue tricolor flag, the horizontal tricolor with a big silver J&A in it, and this kind of same green background. But before that, it would have had a red star just painted on it. So you could find them with all different types of stuff. This is the Army. It has like a lightning bolt or some other stuff. You can see it's like the Air Force, and then there's an anchor on one, and that's like the Marines and the Navy and stuff like that. So depending on the sticker, you could see which branch used it. So, and a lot of times if you peel the stickers off on both the M59-85s and the M59s, and even these, the M89s, you can find the star or even the J&A sticker underneath them, because the J&A sticker was a little bit smaller. So I probably wouldn't recommend peeling it off to see if you have one, because a lot of them do have them and a lot of them don't have them. So it's just something that happened. So, but this is a Kevlar helmet, and these were used through the Yugoslav wars too. They came out in 1989. It's the same exact shape, same exact liner. Nothing really changed except for the shell went from being steel to being Kevlar. Now, I actually have an incredibly rare third version of this, which is an updated version of the M89 Kevlar helmet here. And this one is only a shell because they only started being made just before they were officially dissolved. So like less than a year. And what it is we'll get this one, we'll get the steel one out of the way. This one has a shell that is a lot tighter weave of Kevlar than the original M89s. And it's a lot thicker. It has a heavier rim on it. I'm guessing it would have had the same liner if they had actually drilled the holes and stuff in it. But this is the rare second type M89. So, and there wasn't a lot of them made, so you don't see a lot of them. But you can see how they're pretty much the same. It's painted a darker color. It's made at a different factory. You can see the rim is different. This is kind of a chunky plastic rim. This is an actual rubber rim. It's very hard rubber, but it's still a rubber rim. So I don't, yeah, you probably can't see it on the video, but this is a coarser weave. It's about twice as coarse as what's on the new one. So, and this one has all the holes for the liner and stuff, but I'm guessing it would have had the same liner and everything like that. I'll prop them up here so you can see the shell thicknesses. Now this one's kind of hard because the rim's a little rounded, but this has a thin shell, and this one has a really squared off rim, and it's a thicker shell. It's about 25 to 50% thicker, I'd say, on the Type M89 helmet. So, and these were coming out late 80s. Like I said, just not late 80s, kind of like less than a year before the Yugoslavia itself fell apart into what we now know as the Balkan states. So this is a very, very rare helmet, and I am really hesitant to put the chin strap and everything in it, and I'm guessing it would be just the same as these, but I don't want to start drilling holes in it and ruin something that's this rare of a piece of history. So, but this one has no stamp in it or anything, but it is of a higher quality than the older M89s. It's way thicker. It would offer more protection. It weighs about the same, actually, than the original M89s, despite being thicker. So it's just something neat, and these all had the same covers on them. A lot of the M89s you can see in use with the Serbia and Croatia and everything like that. About the only country, former Balkan country, that didn't use the M59-85 or the M89s was Slovenia, and Slovenia took on, they used the MPC helmet, which you see the MPC helmets used by like the Yugoslavian special forces and stuff like that during the Balkan Wars, and they're normally this blue color or this kind of same light green color, and you see them with riot masks and stuff like that, and they're a very nice helmet, and they improved upon that, and they use it as their T91 kind of in the 90s too. So just to explain to you about how often these are still used, and they're still around. You can find them in all types of conditions and everything like that. But so I figured I'd do all these helmets as a big family because they're all so close and not a whole lot changed on them and everything like that. So, and they're a very good design. They're very cheap, pretty easy to be had out there. They come with different covers. You can find them with the old covers. You can find covers with different logos stenciled on them from various countries. If you have a specific Balkan country, you can find them with different things stitched on the front. This is an original J&A one, so it has the star. But you can find them with like the Serbian eagle on them. You can find them with the Macedonian sun, and everything else like that. So you can find them around. You can find the digital covers for these too. I didn't want to dig my M97 out. That's what Serbia uses. It's a Pasgat essentially. It's the same exact copy as a Pasgat, but with this type of with the 3-point liner in it, just like in this one. So even made out of the same stuff. So Pasgat with this liner is what they use now, is what Bosnia uses now, and Serbia. So, but I figured I'd wrap it up. This is a little known country, and these are starting to dry up, and the reason I wanted to get one of these, well, they're cheap. I'm glad I got all 3 versions, just because I'm of Slavic descent. The Russian part of me is anyways. So, and Yugoslavia isn't a country anymore, and it's something that a lot of people don't know about today, especially the younger generations don't remember Yugoslavia or any of those other countries that kind of fell in the 90s. Through all those reforms and civil wars. So this is a good piece of history, and they're fading, but they're out there for cheap right now, and you can find them on eBay, and you can find them at most surplus shops. And so the Kevlar ones are a little bit harder to find because they weren't made as long. But especially that one, there's probably less than 1,000 of those in the world, the number 2 Kevlar shells. So, but I'll wrap this video up here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully you guys pick up a nice piece of this history. Feel free to ask me any questions about these. There's a lot of different types of stuff, and if you have one that's a different color, or if you have any questions on one, shoot me some pictures, describe it to me. I'll do my best to tell you what country it's from. If you have any questions on the stamps or anything like that, a lot of these you can find with like provenance, so like with names written in them and stuff like that, and Cyrillic and stuff, which is really cool. So I really like the provenance that comes with these helmets. And they went through some conflicts that were pretty heavy and pretty gruesome really, really recently, which is kind of surprising why they were forgotten. But so I'll leave it here. Hopefully you guys like this video. Please leave a comment. Please show some support. Spread the word about the channel. This information needs to get around so people can use it for whatever purpose they deem worthy. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.